it's the end of Week 15 in this 32-team franchise. We have the San Diego Chargers and Aaron Rodgers coming away with a victory here in Week 15 over the Chiefs. They go up 11-3 on the year, with Blake Bortles and the Chiefs fighting to stay in the playoff race here with an 8-6 record. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers currently lead the NFC South with an abysmal 7-6 record, but they're able to move up to 8-6 now on the year. We see the run there by Beanie Wells, the backup for Darren McFadden, who was injured in this game. The Buccaneers win, not allowing a touchdown by the Falcons. Then you had the loser bowl in the AFC North, Ravens versus Bengals, and it's Peyton Manning's Ravens who come away with a win as he throws to his invisible receiver, who was Donald Brown, the running back there, who powered his way for a big touchdown. Manning with 3 TDs and Carr with 2 touchdowns. 3 points separate these two teams. Then you have the Bills versus the Patriots. Patriots are trying to catch up with the Dolphins for the division title, but unfortunately it's the rookie Mariota defeating Brady in a 35-13 beatdown on the road. Not the game the Patriots were hoping for. Then you've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams trying to stay on the top of their division, but it was the Minnesota Vikings who come away with a victory. Very competitive NFC North between the Vikings and the Packers. Dallas falls to 8-6 in as they lead the division in the NFC East. Now we get to see the rest of this week's matchups. So the Steelers, who were trying to stay on top of the AFC North, falls to the number 1 Miami Dolphins, 31-20. We got the Chargers, as you saw, the Bills you saw. Texans pound the Cardinals, so Michael Vick's Texans move on to 11-3. Then we've got the Minnesota Vikings, you saw that game. And then we got the Green Bay Packers also winning their game, going 31-14. So that's a very tough division battle for the title between the Vikings and Packers. Lions also come away with a win in the NFC North there, defeating the 8-5 Rams. So the Rams fall to 8-6 after a 42-34 shootout. Then you've got the Buccaneers, as you saw that game. Commanders defeat the Giants, moving to 6-8. Giants trying to be in the playoff picture here, and the wild card most likely. Or if they won that game, they would have been able to catch up with Dallas and be tied at 8-6. But unfortunately, they fall. Let's see, they're 7-7. Yeah, so they would have been. Yeah, 8-6 is what they would have been. And so they're now instead 7-7. Then you got the Browns, who fall to the Bears. Had they won, they would have been on top of the AFC North. But they fall to the Bears, who have not had a great season, but they were good enough to beat the Browns and maybe stall their hopes for the playoffs, or at least the division title. Then you got Seattle taking on the Colts. And this was a game the Colts should have won. They were way in the lead. Cousins had 4 touchdown passes the entire game. But then it was the Seahawks who found their way back into it late, getting that field goal to win the game. So Stafford goes 9-5, and the Colts now have double-digit losses. You got the Jets 24-10 over the Jaguars, going up to 7-7, 500 on the year. Raiders defeat the Eagles. Again, not the Eagles' year. You got the Panthers over the Saints, 21-18. Saints were trying to make a play because, if they were able to catch up to the Buccaneers, they could possibly have competed for the division. But unfortunately, the Panthers bring about both teams being 6-8. Then you've got 49ers, 34-17 to the Titans. Another game where they were very close. I think it was tied at halftime at 17-17. Brett Hundley, the rookie, just wasn't able to keep it up. Ended up throwing 3 interceptions in his second career game. It was Jonathan Stewart that kept them in the game. But Winston, 203 yards. We see the running game there going great with Murray and Lewis working together, getting almost about 150 yards there, and then 2 touchdowns apiece. And then we saw the Ravens and the Bengals game. Top performers. Ryan Tannehill with over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the smackdown in his game. We got Doug Martin, 122 yards and 4 touchdowns. Greg Olsen, the second leading receiver in the league, 166 yards and 3 touchdowns with Kirk Cousins. Thurl Simon, 1 tackle, 3 interceptions for the Bucks. We see Cousins, Best, Allen, and Kevin Pierre-Louis apparently having a pass deflection. I think that's right, not a touchdown. Then you got rookie performances, some surprises, and then disappointments here. Yes, Garoppolo throwing 4 picks. That sucked. You had Deshaun Jackson having no reception at all, apparently, in that loss. McFadden got injured against the Falcons, so that's why he had only 1 reception. And then Doug Baldwin, just 1 reception, 12 yards. Injuries, I don't think there's anyone new from the other weeks. I mean, there might have been transactions. We extended Hilton, Crosby, Pryor, and Hillis, trying to get a few of those in for the end of the year. Then we got the breakdown here. So the Dolphins have clinched the playoffs, 12-2, and it looks like they clinched their division because we got 3 more games left, weeks 16, 17, and 18, and the Patriots cannot catch them. Had they won, they would have had a win out, but they're on a 2-game losing streak, and they're behind the Bills now. Let's see, are they even out of the playoffs? No, they're not out of the playoffs. There's the 6th seed. But still, that's not great. Patriots should have been a lot higher than that. Then you got the Jets, who are 7-7, and technically still in the playoff hunt. Then we got the Steelers and the Browns. Both of those teams trying to anchor down one of the wild card seeds. Let's see, was it the Browns? Yeah, it was the Browns. So the Chiefs are the ones that are outside looking in after that loss against the Chargers. The Browns will play the Steelers on week 17, so that's going to be an important game between the two of them if they're staying neck and neck. Pittsburgh on a 3-game losing streak, going from 8-3 to 8-6. Not great. Baltimore 6-8. I guess they're still technically in the running for the division, but they've got a lot of work to do. Bengals, they're out. We got the Texans, who have clinched the playoffs, and now they're actually trying to track down the Dolphins and maybe take on the number 1 seed. I don't know if is it the Dolphins or the Chargers. Okay, the Chargers are still number 2, Texans still number 3. So Texans are hoping maybe to get the 2nd seed at least, if not overstep the Dolphins. Jaguars 5-9, their season's done. Colts, their season's done, 4-10. Titans 3-11, worst in the league. Chargers 11-3, Chiefs 8-6. They're the 8th seed. They're trying to get into the playoff picture. Raiders also trying to get in the playoff picture. They are just like the Jets. So again, AFC East is a very tough division. They've been in my entire franchise. Unlike the real AFC East, where the Patriots basically dominated every year. Not mine. Mine have always had, Alex Smith, who's a 99 overall, been a great quarterback in this franchise. Cam Newton. Even the Buffalo Bills won the Super Bowl their first season with Bledsoe. AFC's always been tough. Now let's look at the NFC. Dallas stays ahead of the Giants because both teams lost. Lucky Dallas that the Giants weren't able to come away with a win. Commanders are still within striking distance, but they're pretty far away there. They need to have 2 or 3 wins there just to basically win out in order to have a chance. And then the Eagles, they're out of it, 5-9. I'm deciding whether McNabb takes a seat and Bridgewater plays, or if I just give him the honorable end of the year and let him finish out his career there. We got the Vikings 8-6, Packers 8-6. It's going to be between those two teams for the division. I think they're both in the playoff picture. Yeah, this is competitive. 8-6. So the loser is right now 7th seed. So we got the Lions behind them. They need a win out to even have a shot. Where are they in the division game? They're 3-1 in the division, so if they can tie with the other two, they might have a chance here. You got the Bears at 5-9, so they're out of it. Of course, they found a way to worsen their draft pick order. Then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2 games ahead of the Saints and Panthers. So Saints and Panthers are still within striking distance, but the Buccaneers are in very comfortable seeding here. If they win this next game, they'll probably be set. Falcons 5-9, not looking good for Garoppolo and the Falcons. And then you've got the competitive NFC West. Seattle ahead by 1 game, but the Rams loss and the Niners win puts those 2 teams together and 1 win away from striking distance. The 49ers with the best record in the division. Arizona Cardinals 5-9 with a similar division record, but way too many losses to matter. We'll take a look there at the standings. Bottom teams here: Titans, Colts, Bengals, Jaguars, Eagles. Bottom 5. Eagles could be in play for some of these big prospects like Jalen Ramsey or even Joey Bosa. That would be pretty cool for the Eagles if they were able to land one of those players. Jaguars could use a quarterback. Colts could use a quarterback. Titans could use a quarterback. Bengals have Derek Carr, who leads the league in interceptions. They could choose to go with a Carson Wentz if he's available. But, I mean, right now, Titans and Colts could go with a quarterback. So we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. Now we're looking at Ben Roethlisberger leading the league with passing yards, followed by Brady, Dalton, Manning, Newton, Rodgers, Cousins, Gabbert, Smith, Ryan. Even Osweiler's there on the 11th seed. Then we got for touchdowns, we got Cam Newton with 34. Derek Carr with 29. He got 29 interceptions over there, but he also is tied for second with Rodgers for most touchdowns. You got Big Ben with fourth most. Alex Smith is tied for fifth with Osweiler and Tom Brady. Manning at 26. Interception leaders is Carr, McNabb, Old Man, Joe Flacco, Colt McCoy, Blaine Gabbert, and Bortles. Gabbert and Bortles, they're tied for 18. Rushing leaders, we got Best, Johnson, McFadden, Foster, Spiller. Then Pryor, who was leading the league in rushing, he was like top 5. Now he drops down to 11, but he's a quarterback, so give him a break. Touchdown leaders, we got Johnson with 20. He hasn't had a touchdown in the last few games. Rushing, I think he's had some receiving touchdowns. Let's take a look at his game stats here. So no touch. Yeah, he had 3 straight weeks of no touchdowns for receiving or rushing. I kind of slowed down a little bit because I think Theo Reddick has 1 touchdown. Damian Williams has none. But slowed down a little bit because he was off for a monster season there. He already had 1,400 yards. But then you got Martin, Stewart, and then McFadden and Richardson tied at 14 there. For receiving, for most receptions, we got Landry, Beckham, Hardy, Sanders, and Gordon. For yards, we got Wallace, Olsen, Johnson, Hardy, Gordon, and then Beckham is right there, 3 yards away for Gordon. Yeah, he did not get the suspension, so that's okay. Then we got touchdowns here. So Johnson, Diggs, the rookie, who could be Rookie of the Year. Mike Wallace, Odell Beckham Jr., and then a tie here for 4 of them with 10. Dorsett, who's also a rookie. Landry, Demaryius Thomas, and Keenan Allen. Tackles, if you care. We got Southward, Mays, Moore, Pollard, and Landry. We got sacks with Von Miller with 15 solo sacks. He's not going to get the record. He's got a long ways to go there. Let's see his stats. Last few weeks there, he's had 2 games of no sacks. He's still dominant. He's still probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Mingo, who was a Rookie of the Year, he's tied with Everett Brown. Oh, no, he's got 0.5. He's got 10 solo. But he's at 10.5. We got Everett Brown, Fowler, Timmons, rounding up the top 5. 0.5 there, Bruce Irvin with the Dolphins. Eric Berry and Quinn have 6 interceptions. And then there's a handful with 5 from Teo, Mosley, Clinton Dix, Carroll's second, Durant, and Alexander, all with 5. A lot of people with 4 interceptions. Yep, Revis is a Patriot, if you didn't know that. Kicking normally sometimes makes us error out for some reason. We look at the award races. We got Harbaugh, Fisher, Sean Payton, Mike Pettin, and Bill Belichick. We got Newton. John is leading now for MVP. He's been leading for a while. He'll probably get it. He's got 400 rush yards, 3,000 pass yards. He leads the league in touchdowns. Johnson could be Offensive Player of the Year. Makes sense. Miller, Defensive Player of the Year. Diggs is leading the Rookie of the Year right now. It's been between him and Gurley. Fowler and Quan Alexander for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best QB, Newton. Best running back. No surprise. Von Miller, Mingo, Glover Quinn. When we look at the week preview, so Chargers and Cowboys. Cowboys trying to stay on top of the NFC East. And then you got the Chargers who are trying to challenge Miami for the number 1 seed in the playoff bracket, get that first round bye. They're also trying to fend off the Houston Texans who are vying for the 2nd seed. Then you've got the Rams and Seahawks. This is a divisional matchup. Rams win this game. They could possibly put themselves into the driver's seat and be first place in the NFC West. Seattle wins this game. That gives them another game buffer between them and the Rams and maybe the 49ers if they lose. Bengals versus Dolphins. So loser team versus the number 1 team. We'll see if the Dolphins are able to extend their lead or if the Bengals can be a spoiler. Patriots at Ravens. So Ravens can be a spoiler. They do have Peyton Manning, and he's been doing better the end of the season than he did at the beginning. He could be a spoiler for the Patriots, but of course, New England trying to find a way to stay in this playoff picture the best they can. They need this win against what it has been a very inferior team. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 8-6 against the Lions, same deal. They need to find a way to win this game to stay on top of the North. And then the Lions, who are trying to get their slim chance of taking the NFC North or getting into the playoff picture in the NFC. That 6-8 record is a long shot, but they could also be a spoiler for Pittsburgh. Jets versus Saints. Jets trying to be in the playoff picture. They are definitely in the hunt, but outside looking in. Saints trying to make a long shot chance for their NFC South. Both teams are in long shot territory. Eagles and Commanders just for fun, but it's a divisional matchup, so again, it's a division game. They both want to win it. Jaguars they're looking at the Broncos. Broncos projected to win here. Both teams not having the year they hoped for. Both kind of out of the playoff picture, so that's going to be a fast game to get through. Texans and Raiders. Raiders trying to position themselves for a wild card seed, very similar to the Jets, but very much outside looking in. Fourth place in their division, I believe. Yeah, no, they're third place because Denver's fourth. Then you got the Texans trying to move up in the AFC rankings. Bills and Browns. Bills, both teams. Browns can win their division. Bills can get into the wild card and stay a higher seed. I don't think they can't really chase down the Dolphins. They've already clinched their division. So really, the Bills could knock the Browns from being a division leader in the AFC North and push them down in the wild card standings. And then the Browns trying to win their division or be a wild card contender. The Vikings versus Giants. Giants trying to move up in the NFC East, hoping that Dallas loses against the Chargers. Maybe Eli Manning in his first year with the Giants could possibly take control of the division. Vikings trying to stay above the Packers at 8-6. We'll see what happens there. Then we got the Buccaneers and Panthers. If Buccaneers lose out, there's a chance the Panthers or the Saints could possibly take the division. That's a long shot, but if the Panthers win, they get one game away from that NFC South title. Then you've got the Bears and Packers. So Bears can try to be a spoiler here for the Packers and give the Vikings a chance at taking the lead even further in this division. You got the Colts versus the Niners. Niners trying to battle for the NFC West. Then you got the Colts, just second worst team in the league. Maybe they play for pride and find a way to get the 5th draft pick instead of the 2nd. I don't know. Chiefs 8-6 over the Titans. Titans can try to be a spoiler there with Brett Hundley over the Chiefs, who are trying to go from the 8th seed to the 7th seed at least to make the playoffs. Then you got the Falcons and Cardinals, 2 bird teams, and both bird teams suck. They're not going anywhere. So there you have it, the playoff picture and Week 15 recap. I'll be getting to work now, working on the Week 16 season games. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all you who comment and engage. Always enjoy sharing this journey with all of you. So thanks for watching.